followers, we are checking in from Highmark Stadium, waiting for the Buffalo Bills. Are your bets getting cold? Not for long, because the line is hot. The best sports betting podcast around.
I love those girls. Thank you.
Place best, this moment's ours. Summit up the mountain, feeling the powers. Counting gains, no shame in it to win it. Roll the dice, double down, life's a limit. Kings on this court.
See how you are.
From the top of the world, calling my name, no hesitation. Just celebration is sight. Raise the stakes, we're living for a hype. Yeah, hit the summit, best high. Watch you go. This the life it chose. Let the stakes flow.
And we are live once again on a random Thursday in the middle of the week. We are back on the Built-In Buffalo Network here on NFL Week 10, and very excited to be introducing the new and improved The Line is Hotline, and I'm here with the three horsemen, including myself. I'm here with Boston Mike and Moneyball back again. What the hell is up, boys? How are you?
Yo, what's up?
What up? Doing amazing.
Nice. We call it Three Musketeers. How about 3 Dog Night? We go 3 Dog Night.
Might as well.
Put it this way. The only thing I will say is that if you're watching this, it's really not Thursday. Again, we're trying to play some shenanigans on you.
Trying to play.
It is hooky. Friday, live, 9 o'clock. Have fun. But SV and myself have some football games to catch this weekend. We are going to be live at the Bills Dolphins, and I'm going to be at the Pats Bucks game Sunday, baby. So we got to catch some flights. So we got to book this a little early. My man Moneyball was nice enough to hit us up on a random Thursday. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. I'm jealous y'all are traveling. We're gonna have a good show next week. Y'all gotta recap us on everything you've witnessed.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some video. I'm gonna go through the stadium. We're gonna get some as we unveil the new segment today. We're gonna get some good fan interactions and some takes down there. They could be good, they could be bad, but there'll be takes. And no take is really bad, right? I mean, the whole point of is everybody has an opinion. We all have an opinion. That's all we're doing is talking shit and saying our opinions, and half of them are wrong, but that's why we love life. So I'm ready for the week.
It's gonna be an interesting week. Like our two games specifically, like the Bills, obviously we're gonna get into it, I know right away here, but the Bills are super banged up after the physical game that they played last week against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And like we talk about the spread, this is a game you really have to consider. It's division game 1. But also the Bills are extremely banged up, and including making really his first appearance on the injury report this week. James Cook. He's got a foot and an ankle right now. This is not a game I would want to risk. I know.
He has 2 feet and 2 ankles.
You guys too. And then you look at the first place in the AFC Patriots right now going into Tampa, right? It's at Tampa?
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously, because you're going to the game. It's very interesting with them. They're still kind of coming back from injuries. The Tampa is, and Patriots are kind of going in confident and rolling right now. So, 2 very interesting games.
We're still watching Gonzalez and Booty. I haven't seen any definitive yet on those 2. Obviously, the outsides have been good to us this year, both on offense and defense. So, we're hoping they're back. Man. But again, what did I tell you guys last week about the rushing defense of the Pats? Mm-hmm. Another week where they don't give up 50 yards to a running back. It's unbelievable, the streak that they're on. And they got a game in hand on a lot of the top defenses in rushing yards. They got a game on them because they haven't had their bye yet. So, I mean, I don't know.
Also,
your point.
The Chiefs, though, too. The Chiefs gave up that ass in the James Cook 100-yard game there. I said they would. But again, 50 is still super impressive.
What did he end up finishing? Well, let's see. What did he end up finishing?
He was over 100. I think he wasn't much over it. Maybe like 120 or something.
Let's give him 114. Not bad.
Yeah.
4.2 average.
The way he's been running the ball, man.
Yeah, not bad.
I knew it was like
I
they're
did
leaning
see,
heavily into the run.
I've been looking into Cook. Obviously, he's my fantasy running back, but he did show up to practice today, so he was on the field.
Good.
I think, he's leaning in the right direction. They're still keeping him projected. So,
Nice.
My thing is just this: like with all the injuries they have, obviously we were already without Ed Oliver. We lost Michael Hoyt, who played his ass off the last 2 weeks, and then he ended up tearing his Achilles. Crazy story. So waited on the sidelines. Didn't want to get carted off the field because he wanted to like finish watching the game, be there for his boys, which is awesome. It sucks. He was one of our big additions in the offseason. But now Cook being a little bit banged up. We still have some receivers that are out. I think Palmer's maybe for this week. I'm just thinking though, I know the spread is about 9 points or so with the division game. I think whatever team's healthier, and I think in this case it's the Dolphins. I think they're going to end up covering the spread, and I don't want to give it away because we're going to talk about that in the segment. But it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting.
I also have another interesting tidbit on Booty. He actually has been giving away his injury reports on Discord. So people that follow his Discord got an.
He's giving away that booty, huh?
Yeah, he is, dude. All his booty. He said he's feeling good kind of this week. You know, he said they might play it safe and leave him for next week's games, which I really wouldn't blame him. It is an interesting game this week. I won't lie. I think, you know, Tampa Bay at home coming off the bye. You know, there's a lot to talk about for that one. I think there's honestly a lot of good games on this slate, so I'm excited to get into it for sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's finish off the week. Obviously, week 9 was not the favorite week, right? I mean, we had some underdogs come and creep up, and I mean, obviously, listen, that Bills game was great. You know, and like we all said, we're rooting for the Bills. The show will never root against the Bills. We'll be honest with you. Obviously, you know, with Kansas City's trajectory and the Bills, you know, we're kind of puddling through. But listen, that just goes to show you how week to week the NFL is. You know, like everybody thinks that their team's going to be great for 18 games. It ain't going to happen. And vice versa, right? Everyone thinks that you're going to lose 18 games. It's not going to happen, right? Teams have professional players. So, I mean, that's kind of my takeaway from the Kansas City game, and which could have went either way. I mean, obviously you had Mahomes' worst statistical game, you know, of his life, right? And then you had Josh with a great statistical game, but they were still in it at the end. I mean, how many 4th and 17s do you got to give up? That kind of
that's the thing.
Crazy.
Well, that's the thing, Mike, too, is like you mentioned, it's like that the thing that continuously is like rearing its ugly head with not only just the Chiefs. I mean, they're like the biggest example of it over the past like years, but like the Bills have a real problem getting off the field on 3rd downs and 4th downs for that matter when teams go for it. It's like they need to come up with devise a better scheme so that you're not giving up these like throws right at the sticks or longer. It's like they're playing like prevent. I don't know what they're doing, but the positive side of things, they did win. And again, listen, there's nothing. Don't take anything away from Mahomes and the Chiefs for being 1 score away at the end. They're the Chiefs. There's a reason why they've been the best team in the dynasty in the AFC. Yeah. It's because they're very well coached and they have a ton of good players. But the biggest takeaway for me was that the Bills D line was able to fluster Pat Mahomes the whole game. They sacked him a bunch of times. They were in his face a ton, which they have never really been able to do. So
when I saw all their linemen limping around and getting hurt, that was the best. I mean, you don't wish injuries on anybody, but, you know, they definitely didn't play like the Kansas City line. And you know what? Good for the Bills, right? You need some things to break your way in the year, right? You don't need to play a juggernaut when they're juggernauting. Right? Some of these juggernauts can stumble a little bit. So, we don't make the schedules, but you play the games that are in front of you. So, you know, it is what it is. Moneyball. Well, let me ask you this. When that line was moving a little bit and everything, like, I mean, I know you were the lone wolf, right, that had the Bills. We appreciate your lone wolf in it. What did you see that we kind of missed on KC maybe?
Yeah, I just saw, like I mentioned, you know, the bet percentage was obviously close to 50-50. I talked about how popular both of those teams are, it makes sense that people just throw them in the parlays. But the bigger difference was the bet percentage on the Bills in that game. They were only plus 110, getting 19, 20%. So at home, I just saw that as a good value. I also told you guys, either side you would have leaned in that game. I told you guys to buy it up. I didn't think that it would be within a field goal like these games typically are. And like you saw, I mean, you would have had the Bills -6 or -5.5 even. You were getting plus 250 and above. So
Yeah.
I think, there's certain spots where the value is there. And it's always the games that make you the most scared that want to, come out for you. But you gotta bet unscared in those situations, which is tough to do. So
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, if a screen pass doesn't hit a lineman in the head, like I said, there was just plays in that game. No matter how you look at them, they were fruitful for the Bills. And again, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't look a gift win in the mouth. However you got it, and not that it was a gift, right? I mean, it is what it is. You guys went.
Oh, they played well. They had their A game out on display, which they haven't done yet. So it gave me confidence, Mike, moving forward that when we have to play the Patriots again at your building and we need that game, if the A game shows up, we can beat you guys. I mean.
Well, I mean, put it this way, though. Your A game only shows up when you can run the ball, dude, and you can't.
That's true.
The Pats have been proven that you can't run on them. Now, cold weather, maybe. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the year, seeding. But, I mean, I think that's a pride game, and to already have won in your house and to have them first place in the division. And from a lot of Pats fans, they're waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm kind of like, hey, put your foot on the gas, let's not look in the rear view and say, oh, we're going to come in the wild card. No, we can win this division. We've got it in our hands. We've got a good schedule. Yep. We're playing like a team. We're playing like a family. So, I'm in the camp that, last year and the few years before that were horrible, but it was a pretty quick turnaround. And, if we got to worry about Denver, that's one thing, right? Denver's been probably the most consistent the last 5-6 weeks. The Bills have been up and down. KC's been up and down. The Colts, I mean, obviously look at those, the Colts are up and down. I mean, there's a ton of 5-win teams in the AFC. Like, it's going to shake out here soon, man. It is. And I think this is a great test this week going to Tampa. But again, the Pats are undefeated on the road, right? I mean, they're just playing well. So if
defense travels, my friend.
Listen, and that's what I get frustrated about the Bills is that they don't understand. I always tell people this, right? That Pats 3 dynasty rings, playing the Eagles and Carolina and the Rams. I mean, those games were not 40-39 games, right? And then what happened when they went to Moss, Welker, right? All of a sudden, we're scoring more, but the defense they gave up, right? So all of a sudden, we're losing games to Indy in the championship game. We're losing games to the Giants on the last play. Like, our offense did good, but the defense just couldn't hold up. So I'm real proud to see Drake May is amazing to me, but here's the deal. I would much rather see their defense play well. I think you can win games 21-20, 24-19 easily, then you can win a game 42-40. I mean, are you guys feeling that or what?
Absolutely. I mean, that's and Evan, you obviously talk about this, but you want to win games more playoff style with possessions being contested. You don't want to be in these shootout games where everybody's scoring every possession, then it really goes down to whoever has the ball last. You need to be able to get stops. It's again just like I talk about in hockey. Sabres have been playing playoff style hockey right now, low scoring, low event hockey, getting shots, being physical. Same thing in football. You control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You're stopping teams from scoring, and then you're punching it in the opportune times when you need it. I mean I think the Patriots are doing a good job of that. But I will tell you this though, before I let Moneyball chime in, you will, I promise you, be getting the Bills A game, because that game could very well be for the division. It could be for the 1 seed when we come to your building. So you will get the Bills A game. You didn't get it this past time.
Did you see? Hold on. Have you seen the schedules?
The schedules have definitely been leading in the Patriots.
Are you?
Notice how I said it could be for the 1 seed. I even said.
Okay. I mean, I'm and I like the confidence and I like the challenge, but when I look at the schedules back and forth, I don't see you guys running the table, unfortunately. and you're already a game down, and you already
I don't
got a
think you're going to run
head-to-head
the
loss.
table either, though. That's what I said. That game could be.
I'm not
only for
saying
the
we're
division,
not
it could be
gonna,
for the
but-
1 seed. Yeah,
I don't.
you're
think
ahead
so.
by 1 game right now. You're ahead
I
by
don't
1
think so.
game.
This is the back and forth I love. Everyone watching.
Take
these
care
are
of business this week
Well-
against the Bucks. It's not going to be an easy game. I'll tell you right now.
Listen,
None
you
of them
still
are.
got to play the Bucks. You got to play.
I
Who?
know.
We talked about
You gotta
this.
play
Didn't
the
we talk
Eagles,
about
the
this?
Bucks, the Lions, maybe. You play the Lions again? I don't even know.
No, the Steelers. Hold on.
Steelers are
get
tough,
it.
physical team.
Listen, the good thing that I can tell you this is that we're winning close games when the teams are good. We're winning games handily when the teams are bad, but we're scoring 30 points, 25, 30 points. The last few years were horrible. We weren't scoring. So you can score and you can defend. And think about this, right? The whole game flow goes with the running game, because if you stop the running game early, then you can stop the pass later when you know it's coming. It's when it's balanced, right? It's when the hard defenses can't react when it's balanced, right? So that's the thing. They put a lot of emphasis in stopping the run early, which makes other teams pass happy. And that's not, I think, the Bills' strength is pass happy offense.
I
My
do
own
say,
personal
I mean,
take.
I agree.
when it comes to
I
defense,
always talk you into it. You're such a wimp. You know what? Grow a sack
Listen,
and tell me I'm wrong.
Stop. Okay. Well, okay. You interrupting money, but I want to give a mistake. But if you listen to what I said, it was a compliment. I said that game, all I said, I'll say it again. When we come to your building later this year, could not only be for the division, but it could be for the 1 seed between the 2 teams. That's a compliment. And I said, you will get the Bills A game in that game. Of
That
course.
sounds like
That's
a,
all I said.
Well, that sounds, number one, that sounds like a backhanded compliment. If you have to tell me it's a compliment, then it's a backhanded compliment. Just so
Well,
you know.
you took it like in a negative way. I said that game's going to be for the 1 seed. I'm saying I think the
I
Patriots
just
are going
took
to be there
it
too.
I took it in I think you're crazy way. I didn't take it in a bad. I wasn't disappointed and you said it. I mean, I'm happy you said it. But
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be for the 1, to be honest. I think you guys are going to be a wild card team. It's just my own, just the way the season's been playing out and the way the schedules line up. I think it's a wild card matchup. And I think the last game of the regular season will be the last game.
You clearly think the Patriots are the better team of the 2. That's clearly your opinion.
Listen, I totally think Denver's better than maybe both of us. All right. I mean, I'm not discounting. You're already like throwing us into the 1 seed, dude. You got to make it through the gauntlet, and then the other teams have to play too. So I don't think it might not be either one of us for a 1 seed, but I don't think
I have more confidence in Drake May though, slightly than Bo Nix, which we just talked about this too. I do.
But that's
I'm a
great
big Drake May
defense,
fan.
though. Dude, Denver's got a great D.
I think the Patriots and Denver's D are 1-2. So I'll take who I like better at quarterback. Okay, do I like Denver's weapons better? Yes.
Let's see who Denver's got to play. Let's see. So Denver has, let's see, they got the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Commanders, the Raiders, the Packers, Jacksonville, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, right? So not a horrible for a team that's already got 6 wins. Or no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. No, 2, 4, 6. They got 7 now. So think about it. That's not. I mean, really. So like the Bills have to get 13 wins, dude. Like I mean, Moneyball. What do you think, man? Come on. I know you're a homer. Are you going to stand up for these Bills more than Sean is?
I think these 2 teams.
We bored you. We're boring him.
Oh shoot, man! I've had a long week, but I think those 2. It is one of the more interesting divisions in the NFL looking forward. I do place a lot of value on defense in the NFL, and I think that's how this year has played out. Is the better defenses end up winning? I mean, you look at, like you mentioned, Denver. You look at even Houston, who doesn't have a good record, but their defense is, keeping them in games even when
they've let up the least amount of points. 121 is the least in the AFC, and right now it is lead. So they are leading the league in points against with 121, but they have a 3-5 record, and their quarterback is out with a concussion.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's even last week we're talking about recaps here. I mean, Arizona's defense played insanely well against Dallas. That was the main difference, I think, in that game. Obviously, Brissett had a lot of yards and, kept it moving, but I think that would have been a closer game had they not stepped up. They
Yeah.
also, their first round pick, I don't think a lot of people were really thinking about him. Walter Nolan, I believe is his name. He showed up big. He is honestly a big factor on that line now, and it was his first game of the season. So, there's certain things like that where you look at the odds to begin for the week and it doesn't really make sense. But as the game plays out, you kind of see where those little factors come in. So I think with defenses, man, there's a lot of questions between matchups that, certain teams don't really make sense. Like the Steelers don't make sense to me this year. The Falcons defense really doesn't make sense. There's certain teams where you want that consistency and you get it week to week, but there's a lot of variation. Minnesota is also a great example of that. But yeah, I think situationally, I think the home team gets the advantage with the Buffalo, New England. I know New England beat us at our home stadium. I wouldn't expect that to happen twice in a year, but if we got to play them in New England, I think that becomes another issue. But, I do like the way the Bills defense is moving. I think they even proved they were better than, we look at injuries and we look at all that as, a factor. But at the end of the day, a defense, all of these guys are so good at what they do that if you're just in that mentality and ready to eat that day, you can eat. There's always good opportunities to really be a disruptor on defense, but it's how much you want it, how much you've been preparing against a certain scheme. So I think the Bills were just ready for that game, regardless of what they had on the field. And the Patriots, they seem ready almost every game. So I think this, like you mentioned, is a good test this week against the Bucs. The Bucs have one of the better quarterbacks. I mean, honestly, looking at the MVP odds, I think Drake May and Baker have kind of gone back and forth now, being the third or fourth guy on that list.
Yep.
So this will be one of those games where, the better team will win, and I think the defense will play a part in that. Getting Gonzalez back is also a big factor. I think he can lock up Ibuka pretty good. I think he has more experience. So kind of some questions I got going into this week. But as far as last week too, I do want to mention, where those big underdogs came out. I think it's still such a question. I picked the Giants, gonna get upset. They didn't come through. It's been hard to track these underdogs, man. Analytically wise, they've kind of been bouncing around the last 2 hours before a game to where stuff gets affected. I'm going to pull up my list to just go through some of the huge changes that happened because there was a lot. And I was trying to track it all, but yeah, so obviously Carolina being Green Bay, that one is where a plus 650 team came out. Carolina kind of started heavy, actually, to begin with, getting above 10% to start the week. They ended up dropping below 10% right before the game. So seeing them come out really didn't shock me. Obviously, it was a closer game than a lot of people expected, but Green Bay situationally in games has not been blowing people out. So I think that also is a factor when you're looking at the percentages of how realistic is this really to happen. So I thought Carolina did have a good shot defensively, and they proved it. Another team, obviously Minnesota. I actually gave this pick out to the guys on our podcast on Sunday. They were getting 1% on the money line. Also, Detroit had a record of 8-0 of covering their last home games as big favorites or something like that. Just every factor that makes people want to bet on Detroit ended up coming to smack them in the face. They didn't cover the spread. That was a lot of pain of Detroit fans. So I was on Minnesota. I told, everyone I knew to sprinkle their money line, everyone that did. And I hope you made a lot of money because that was another plus 375 team. But then you had a lot of big favorites covering for the most part. The Rams were minus 1,000. They ended up winning. I also did give you guys Tennessee to cover that spread against the Chargers. They had the opportunity to cover it.
Yep.
They were going.
DK, we're big DK fans over here.
Yeah, he ended up scoring a punt return tutty, which was interesting, but he didn't do much offensively for him. But they still got guys like Elick, like I mentioned. I mean, they're a team capable of moving the ball down the field, which is all you needed them to do to cover 10.5. That is I don't care who the team is. Once you get into the 10.5 category or above, you really got to be careful because that is just where everyone thinks they can make money, but the times where teams blow out by 20 plus, it's harder in today's NFL, and we see that. So just that's pretty much my main recap of last week. I expect there still to be a good bit of underdogs covering. Not as many on the. I don't expect a plus 650. I don't even think we got that option this week, but I still expect a lot of teams to cover a bigger ratio than favorites covering this week.
The biggest spread right now is probably that Denver game. Yeah, the Lions are favored by 8, and the Raiders are getting 9.
You gotta check out those spreads. But hey, Boston Mike and Moneyball, we have our first live call in right now to the Line is Hotline.
Whoa.
We have Mr.
Who's
Ryan Full from Masonic Cheek to Vegas, Buffalo. Mr. Full, give your take about I think you wanted to talk some maybe trade deadlines, some thoughts about the league, some activities. What did you think, man?
I just want to touch on the trade deadline first. First, I want to say Seattle, that Shaheed trade, I love that there. I mean, obviously JSN, he speaks for himself. Darnold's balling out just like I thought he'd do in Seattle. And Shaheed, I think, just takes him over the top. I think it's something the Bills should have did. But I think it's a great move for Seattle. The Jets, as much as I hate to say, I think they make great moves. Their defense, it ain't doing it right now. So they got 2 firsts for Sauce, and then the Quinton Williams trade, I feel like that's just a no-brainer. By the time the Jets are good, Quinton's going to be old, and he's going to be out of there anyway. They were able to pick up a first and a second and a player. As much as I hate to say it, the Jets are making moves for the future. And the Cowboys are just self-imploding again. Like, no need to make that trade. They're basically out of it at this point. They gave up a first and a second. Like, as much as I hate to say it, like, no, I mean, I don't like the Cowboys, so I'll say it anyway. But as much as I hate to say it, it's good until Jerry's gone. So that's never going to happen. Well, until he's dead. And then the Bills. I would have loved for us to make a trade, but people have to remember, like, Bishop, he's stepping up every game. Bishop is making steps. I think Jordan Hancock looks like he's making progress. And, I mean, our defense played good against Kansas City. Like, they played solid against a good Kansas City offense. And our offense, I would have liked for us to go get a receiver. I definitely would have. But everyone has to remember, the Bills are number 1 in the rushing in the NFL right now and number 1 in total offense. So, like, you can't get down on Buffalo. Like, we're still on top of the league. So I think the Bills will be all right. I would have liked to see a trade, but we're going to be all right. And let's transition over to the Sabres.
Please do.
What's up?
Please do.
Yeah. The Sabres, they've been unwatchable for like the last 5 to 7 years. I haven't been able to watch them, but at the beginning of the year, I always turn them on, see what they're about. And it looks like we're starting to make a little progress. Like, I haven't seen physicality in the Buffalo Sabres in years, since I can remember. And you're finally starting to see the Sabres win a few games, throw their body around. And I think a lot of that starts with the Shane Doan trade. As much as I did not want to see the Sabres get rid of Peterka, Kesselring and Doan, I think they're looking good in this Buffalo team. And I think the Sabres are on the up and up. I'm not saying we're going to be great this year, but you can see a difference in this team. There's physicality. Like, the players look like they want to be here and play. So we'll see what happens the rest of the year. It's still early. Sabres do tend to disappoint, but right now, I like what I'm seeing. So I'm going to hang up, fellas, and tell me what you guys think.
Awesome, man.
Nice.
Ryan from
Thank you,
Cheektowaga.
Paul.
Fantastic take. Calling again, man.
Paul.
Thanks so much. Good takes,
Yeah,
man.
I like his
Man.
takes, man.
Yeah,
Trade
my
deadline
man.
was weird. You know, I agree with him. Like, yeah, the Bills didn't make any moves. But it takes 2 to tango, first of all. And the reason why I thought they might was that they did convert some a salary for Taron Johnson into a signing bonus to immediately free up like $1.5 million. And I think they had like $1 million already. So you basically had $2.5 million in space. what significant move are you really going to make though for that amount of money? Like without trading salary out, it's like you're bringing in backup level players at that salary. So there was rumors they talked to Tennessee about Ridley. There was rumors that they might have talked to the Raiders about the receiver. But I mean, you got to remember they have Gabe Davis coming back, the Chief Killer. He's getting healthy, so that's like getting a free agent. And then we really haven't seen anything with Palmer. I mean, he still has to come back and get integrated into the offense. So I don't know. I mean, I think receiver I'm cool with. Corner and safety, like you said, Hairston and Cole Bishop have been, starting to show signs of life, and their line has been good. I think out of all positions, I would have liked them to maybe bring in a depth lineman, maybe a guy who could play both D tackle or DN, like a hybrid. But I'm okay with that. And yeah, the Sabres are playing their asses off lately. 5 overtime games in a row for the Sabres, albeit they lost 4 of them, but they're getting points. They're usually out of the playoff picture by Thanksgiving, Christmas at the most, and they're right in it right now. They're only a couple spots out. I think they're 2 or 3 points. I mean, it's very jumbled in the Atlantic Conference right now. There's like 3 points separate like the top from the bottom. So obviously things are going to start to spread out. We're only a dozen or so games into the season, but they're showing signs that they're going to be a team to be reckoned with, and they're pretty banged up now. When they get healthy, watch out.
Yeah, man. I've been loving watching this game.
He did it all. I mean, I don't know. I don't have to I'll just give him some love, man. Yo, that's great. Thank you for calling in, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man. I also agree. I think the Quinnen Williams trade was a bit ridiculous. I get he stops the run better, and Dallas obviously had a panic mode situation, 3-5-1. I just think it's a move too big for a team too small. I don't think they're gonna make a push at all. So giving him that money, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But getting rid of Parsons to then go buy Quinnen Williams for a first, I think, and a second, doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's way overvalued for him. So,
well, listen, and I value your opinion because, drum roll, please, my man,
let's go,
Moneyball Marsh with 8 wins against the spread.
8 wins on 13 games, baby.
8 wins. Marcus with 7. Good for you. And then Boston Mike and SV the Don are the legs of the stool this week. We are 5-6. So overall, SV is still holding steady. He's got a 4-point lead over me. And then Evan and the hybrid have just come up pretty fast. So it's anybody's game.
Tight. It's
anybody's game.
Long season, man. Long season.
It is a long season. Maybe this will be the week we see a changing of the guard.
Well, all right. So listen, we're not going to bore you guys. We go through every game and we're giving every pick. We got some other stuff to kind of focus on that we want to introduce you to later, but we're going to go through real quick. This is week 10. This is what we do. I'll just throw out some games randomized. Obviously Bills, Dolphins, right? What are we thinking, right? I know you guys are taking the points with the Dolphins.
Taking the points with the Dolphins because of the injuries.
Yeah, they've already covered 12.5. They buy it. They lower it now to 9.5. They're still in Miami, or they're in Miami now. I don't know. Division game, I lean always the plus, and I think it's too much for James Cook kind of up in the air at this point.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, Moneyball, I don't know, I'd like your opinion on this. Actually, both of you guys can comment. If James Cook is at all hindered, don't play him. Please don't play him. Just set 100%. Him out. And that's going to make the game closer because he is our best player.
I have him in fantasy, and I agree. I would rather see him healthy for the rest of the year.
Right, down the stretch, please.
Yeah, I think
they should still be able to win this game regardless whether he plays or not.
Yeah,
it's kind of my thought.
Yeah.
So,
people are kind of buying into Miami a little bit, so I would just buy Buffalo down a good bit, maybe even to 4.5, something like that. I could see him winning by 5 in a weird game.
Yeah,
yep, division game, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, what do we think? This might be the game of the week. Bucks giving 2.5 at home to my Patriots. And listen, the reason we talk to Patriots so much because number one, I like them, and this is my show.
I like them. It's like your little crush. I like them.
And the fact that we are picking up steam in both areas. we've got a lot of Buffalo people watching the show, calling in and
Yeah,
shit.
that's
and
true.
we got a lot of New England people calling in. So I think this is a good mix. It's always good to learn from the people that don't think like you. As much as Sean likes to, I overpower him just because I'm just a bully like that. But listen,
we're on a crash course. We're on a crash course, baby.
Chugga.
Yeah, the whole movement with this game, Bucks obviously coming off a bye. I think people just naturally tend to like those teams.
Are you surprised it's only 2.5 at home though?
Not really. I think for how the Patriots have played, it makes sense. Yeah. I'd be surprised it isn't even 1.5. I see it as one of the better matchups of the week, and those are typically pretty close. But
I thought it was going to get flexed, dude. Did they not flex this week or no? Because I was hoping this was good. A 1 o'clock game in Tampa is going to be cool, but
I don't think they start flexing until after a certain week. I don't think we're there. I don't think so. I'll see. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Oh, I wanted the prime time slot there,
but I want to say
it definitely is worthy.
Pay attention to what happens with Bucky. He's still up in the air. I think they're honestly I have Rachaad White on my bench, and they just boosted him to 16 points for this week projected. So it's looking like he's going to be the starter again. I think Bucky's probably leaning out. Obviously, no Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's kind of up in the air. So still a beat-up Bucs offense.
Sure.
I think if the Patriots play it right, they obviously have the edge with their defense, especially getting Gonzalez back. I think that's why it is so close for just, that consistency on the defense. Yeah. But Baker's shown the adversity that he can push through. I mean, I had him even losing, I think, to the Saints percentage-wise. I think there are some flaws to their game. Baker, honestly, for the past 3 weeks hasn't looked as accurate as he has in the past. So I lean Patriots money line at this point. I'll also look into what the Patriots got going on as far as their health. They're typically pretty healthy, but it's one of those close games, man, where you really got to find one tiny edge and just play it out and see what you like more. I would also do the same thing with this game that I recommended with Buffalo last week is pick the team you like and move it to above a field goal. You'll get crazy value, and one of them will kind of run away with it towards the end.
Yep, I like that too, Mike. I want to definitely hear your opinion, but mine is I know I gave you my pick for Tampa, giving the 2.5. And the main reason why, and again, I say this all the time, if Tampa or if New England was getting one more, I would take New England in this game because I think it's a field goal game.
Yeah.
But we need Tampa to win this game, so I'm going to hope that they win this game and that they're going to win by a field goal. So give it the 2.5 at home.
To be fair,
but again, one more point, I would take the Patriots.
Hey, that sounds like a shirt that I bought when I was like 22 years old. It said I root for the Red Sox and anybody playing the Yankees, right? So you root for the Bills and then anyone playing against the Pats, which I love. And
only when the Pats are ahead of us in the standings. If they weren't ahead of us in the standings, I wouldn't have a problem.
Wow, I mean, the good news is that you got a lot of practice that for 22 years in a row or 18 years in a row. So
right.
You're well versed. Listen, are you just hold on? And just in my own little inkling, is there a smidge of anything in you guys that says like it's over? A smidge.
What?
The Pats are back. Your division stranglehold is over. Like, are you just like this a fluke? We lost to them. It was bullshit. Like, what are you thinking?
To call that at this point, it's too challenging in my opinion because the Bills have been up and down. That's correct. But we did just see them get the best win of the year. The best win for you guys has been against the Bills. To be fair, your guys' schedule is literally one of the most.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's unfortunate for the Bills, but I mean we play the teams that are in front of us.
And this game is also interesting because I look at it similar to the Colts last week, where you win, 5-4+ in a row, where the NFL just typically kind of tends to bite you back. A lot of teams today in the last 2 years, you're not going on runs for 6-7 games. Something eventually is going to happen, even if you're playing well. Another team can play well too. So it's another interesting spot of, do the Patriots get this dub right before their bye week, Or is it their bye week next week, or is it?
Oh, dude, our bye's like week 14 or something, dude. We're
Yeah,
gonna be.
Ooh, that's late.
It's for a while,
Very
so
late.
I just
Gonna help
think
you though on the stretch.
eventually, when you're playing that many games in a row, my only point being is someone will get you. You know, it might not be this week for plus 120. I don't really know with that, but I think it'll be when New England's a bit more favored, and I think someone can expose your defense passing wise. I think what Drake London did at the end of the game, 3 tutties, you know, there's better wide receivers than what you guys have on defense, but you just haven't been playing them. So it would be interesting to see what Ibuka could do this week.
Hey,
I'll
I
say
listen.
this.
And I
I'll
listen.
say
And
to
the
your
only reason I go so hard is I'm a baiter. I'm trying to bait you guys into takes, and I'm trying to bait you into saying something
I got you.
amazing on this
I
show.
got you.
Don't get me
Say
wrong.
it,
I am
here's
the
my
guy to
prediction.
ride the patterns. I want to make the money here. So if the Patriots continue
Yes.
winning, dude, I will be the biggest Drake May guy you've seen. And this would be a good week to do it if you think they still ride.
We love Drake May. I'll say this. The Patriots have been the more consistent team, yes, than the Bills, I'm saying. They are the better defensive team for sure. I'll just say that in a one-game tournament that's the playoffs, I believe right now, this iteration, this season of the two teams, the Bills A game is more potent and stronger than the Patriots. That's all. That's all I'll say.
I think it's just an experience.
This year. Yeah.
As far as the core of the team, the Patriots are a lot more new. So I think once you get down the season, you could have all the consistency in the regular season you guys could have. But when it comes to those bigger games, I think home field advantage matters. And I think just where you're at towards the end of the season health-wise. You know, the thing with the Patriots that interests me is your weapons aren't explosive. I don't think Travion Henderson, you know, even with Stevenson in there, it's a good dual threat, but it's not the best dual threat in the league. I think Diggs is a great wide receiver, but besides him, I mean, it's kind of they have Booty, they have a couple guys that can really, you know, help
but that's
out.
why they're a team, and that's the whole point. Teams win, right? You take away Shakir or Kincaid, and what do you got, right? You take Booty away, we got other options, right? It's just I think he's spreading around. Drake May is passing the ball amazingly right now. I mean,
his quarterback rating, dude, he's
very good.
He hasn't shown me anything that he can't keep this up. I just think I'm waiting for that spot to where, you know, their stars aren't producing as well as they have. It's the same thing I thought with the Cowboys. There's going to be a time where someone can expose you. I just don't think they've played those level of defenses yet. But to be fair, you never know. I think they for how questionable they were before the season started to where they are now, it's such a good spot to where every week, even this week, they're getting 30% on the money line, 30% on the spread at plus 120. For how they've been playing, that is a great team to back right now. So
yeah, but think about it, Evan. It's coaching,
right?
Coaching. I'm just gonna throw it out there. We are a different team with Mike Vrabel, 100%.
No, for sure.
He's the guy I lean
that's
on.
good. Has a leader, and I saw last week when like Stephon caught a great pass, he's like banging on the ground, and even Vrabel's right there on the sideline, like picks him up himself. Like they got good camaraderie. Don't get me wrong. They're clearly building something great there. It's just going to be what's the height of it versus where do they kind of fall back into just basic NFL rhythms of you're not going to win 9 in a row. It's about managing that one loss to then keep the rhythm going. Like that's a great topic to then switch into, you know, this Colts game for this week against the Falcons.
Yeah.
I think the Colts coming off a loss are going to face more troubles than they've seen, you know, versus kind of some iffy opponents. They've faced some good teams, but not insane level of talents, I don't think. Falcons are getting healthier. We got Bowman back this week. Jalen Walker had a great game last week. We're kind of getting back on schedule a little bit, which does scare me to take a minus 325 team coming off an L. I think there are going to be a lot of people just expecting the Colts to get back to the form they were in. But I think Atlanta does pose some defense questions that could still stop this Colts team like the Steelers did. Yeah. It's going to be a matter of can they produce the points to keep up with them? And I think they can. I think with what London's been producing, Bijan's had a couple slow weeks, so he's kind of due for, you know, 100-yard plus game. It's an interesting spot. And DeForest Buckner, for the Colts is now questionable, so he's a big piece of their defense. And if they can't stop the run, I think something interesting could come here. And the Falcons typically, for how this season has gone, it would be just the right spot for them to bounce back. So,
all right, listen, there are 3 or 4 other games that I wanted to highlight real quick. Can we just do like a little round table real quick if I throw a game out?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. One I'm interested in is Ravens-Vikings, right?
Yep. I had that literally highlighted. I was just about to talk about that game. It is
to me
another
is good.
The thing with these trends that I like to see is when a team, Minnesota just won on the road in Detroit. That is not a typical thing you see from this team. Their defense has been questionable. I mean, everyone talks about that coordinator and how good they are at scheming things up, which obviously the one game that looked abysmal was against the Chargers. But then again, if your offense isn't staying on the field for more than 3 plays at a time, it's hard for your defense to keep up. So I wouldn't look at that and say, every team's going to put up 30. That was a situational game. I think the Vikings defense is as good as people say they are. Their offense this week, another injury looming for Aaron Jones. I expect him to be healthy. I think he'll play this game. I think also what the Ravens do so well is run the ball. I think their passing game, they did show, Lamar had 4 tutties last week. I think 2 to Andrews. He was spreading the ball around, and we all know he's capable of that. But I think what really pressures the Ravens is when you do completely shut down Henry or Lamar and force him to throw it a lot. I think, Henry still had a good bit of yards last week. So it'll be a game of another defensive importance. I think Minnesota is getting a little disrespected again. And I expect their stadium to be rocking, honestly. I think with that last game, that's a huge divisional win. So I don't expect it to be a letdown spot. I actually, for what the percentage is putting on them and how they've been playing, I expect it to be a move in the right direction. I think McCarthy didn't explode offensively, but he got the job done. I mean, that's all if your defense is playing good, there's teams like San Francisco where you just need that guy who can get the first downs and move you down the field. That'll get you a win. So I just think Baltimore would be in 3-5 and minus 220-ish this week on the road. I question it a little bit, man. I'm not going to sit here and slam the Ravens because it's just one of those spots where if they go 3-6, we're looking at them next week. They're not going to be minus 200 possibly for the rest of the year. So
they might be. It's weird how these guys come up with these numbers, but they might be favored, but they're just not. They're going to be out of it. I mean, you're not. Right. They're out. I mean, they're almost out now. I think hopefully Pittsburgh is kind of coming over that hump of playing inconsistent. I mean, that game against the Packers. It's such a emotional game too. It's just like when I was talking about, the Jets, after the whole, ownership debacle and Justin Fields, and those are those games that you kind of feel the team coalescing around a player. And obviously it was a crazy, start by the Bengals, and, they rushed back, and my man Breece Hall, shout out to Breece Hall. We need him this week. But anyway, Sean, let me ask you this. As I go through these games, like the next one that kind of stands out to me is Rams 49ers. I mean, I know you're high on the game. Rams.
I am. Yeah, I like the Rams. I think the 49ers are extremely banged up. So I know I picked the Rams given the points. I think they're on the road, I believe, but they are still favored. So
Rams on the road are minus 4.5 at San Fran.
Yeah, I just think San Fran has been another team right there. They've surprised me. They've kind of over-delivered based on where I thought they would, especially losing their quarterback, Purdy, and then they've had obviously your guy, Mac Jones, filling in admirably. He shows you why he was a first-round pick. He's got some skills. But, yeah, just the way that they're kind of banged up, I just think that the Rams are a very good team. I'm a huge Stafford fan. I'm a huge Puka fan, and their defense is good enough. They're a solid team. I picked them to be one of my favorite teams to come out of the West, and I just don't quite see even with the 49ers at full strength. I don't think that they're quite in the same class of a team in the NFC. So Yeah, man. I'll take the Rams. I'll give the Rams confidently a couple points to win by, I think, what'd you say, it was 4.5?
Yeah. Now it's 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be one where I'd probably buy it down and trust that they'll win by at least a field goal. But I do like them with the spread. Yeah. I think the Rams win it.
Yeah. And then I was torn. Right? I wasn't going to go through all these games, but I kind of got hung up on the Steelers, Chargers, but then Eagles, Packers Monday night. Like that kind of like got me going. Like Moneyball. What do you think of Monday night?
It's another great game. The Packers coming off an L, I think still being favorites is kind of insane. It wasn't a small loss. It was a big one. So I think it poses a lot of questions for what they can do, even offensively. They only put 10 points up against the Carolina team. But to be fair, the Carolina Panthers also shut out the Falcons this year. I think their defense, I don't think a lot of people give them credit for what they can do. They're probably just as even as the Packers as a lot of other teams in the NFL are, especially having Rico Dowdle, who was putting up monster games. Shout out to his double pump tutty. I love that. That's a great.
You got fined for 2 pumps. That's too many pumps. One too many pumps.
Man. He's got it locked now. I want to see just one pump if he's healthy this week. But no, dude, I'm leaning the Philadelphia Eagles. I think in these spots, typically when you get a plus 100, plus 110, it's similar to the Bills last week, but it's kind of the flip side of where all of the public's going to be on Philly this week. But it's another great situation where we have that game on a Monday night, a single Monday night game. So you can really see what's gone on in this slate to see if an underdog's really likely or not. You're going to question a lot because right before that, you got Pittsburgh and the Chargers, where Pittsburgh's kind of plus 130. And then even right before that, you got the 49ers, the game we were just talking about, who are plus 185. So I expect one of those to come out. Obviously, the most likely odds-wise is the Eagles. But if the Steelers come out on Sunday night and put up 2 great back-to-back weeks and beat the Chargers, I would definitely be looking to see if the Packers are still favorites. Because as of right now, the line's been open for a couple days and people are still going to be hammering the Eagles to get this value. But if they're not moving the line in the Eagles' favor at all, that makes me question. That's a very similar game to when the Texans played the 49ers. Texans were favored all week around the same exact odds, and the public was never on them. Nothing happened there, and they ended up winning and playing great defense. So the Packers, don't get me wrong, have the questions there, but can they still go in and win at home? Certainly can. Like, it's Tucker Kraft is a big blow. Don't get me wrong. I think if they did
we're
win,
sad for him. I'm going to boo that. We lost him on our fantasy team.
Yeah, he is. He's been a dog, dude. So that's a huge blow. I think that kind of takes them out of my mind for like a really long playoff, push. But
well, I think they're giving Green Bay the bright light treatment, right? They played awesome against the Steelers, and then not so much, when they were just in the mix of 5 games going on against the Panthers. But again, hold on. We do have a Panthers upset pick for that game that we gave out last week.
We do.
I can't believe that the other 2 games didn't hit. That was, we kind of snickered at
close.
the Carolina.
It was almost all 3. It was
Billy the
close.
Kid plus 650 on the Panthers. So very intense applause for Billy. Made a lot of money last week out of them. This
watching
week,
that game the whole time, by the way, too.
This week he's got Jets Giants. So he's going Big Apple upsets.
Yeah. How about that?
Plus 110, plus 190. You wouldn't think, but it's paying $500 on a $100 bet. It's plus 509.
There you go.
Hey, listen,
New York.
Jets coming off a bye. The Giants are hungry. They lost. So, I mean, at a certain point, I don't necessarily, have any bad ill will towards these 2 picks. What about you, Evan? Would these be your 2 upsets?
I think you mentioned the Jets coming off a bye, but so are the Browns. I just think, the Jets for any plus money this year, you got them at, the insane plus 400 game. I think that might be all the NFL might give you this year. You know, the Browns, they were in another situation where they're playing crappy teams, but they clearly have the better defense here. 100%. I think, you know, Gabriel is mid at best, but he can still move it to Fannin. Fannin put up 80 yards last week. Njoku's still back. You know, he just went on an interview saying, hey, how much he loves Cleveland, which is mind-boggling for anyone to hear. But I think they still have a bit more stability than the Jets do. I don't love the Jets. I'm not going to be buying them at plus 110. The only time I'm taking the Jets is if I see value at plus 150 or above this year, which, you know, they might as well be favored, and I would never buy them as a favorite. So I'll take Cleveland. And I also don't like the Giants in this spot either, personally. I think the Giants, it's just heading in the wrong direction. You know, they're pretty beat up on defense still. Offense, obviously, they're beat up. The Bears just had a great close win. So even if the Giants keep it close, I still give the lean to the Bears. To maybe the Giants cover the spread, but I don't see them winning at plus 190 this week on the road.
All right, we're going to have to bet some push-ups on that.
I got some.
Bill and Evan.
Buddy. I got some underdogs for you. Would you like some underdogs, Mike? Mr. Boston Mike?
I do.
In this particular order, I'm going to go like this for you. So, like, from weakest to strongest play. Okay. I'm going to go Pittsburgh on the road at the Chargers. Patriots on the road at – who were they playing? I forget.
Tampa,
obviously. You're going. And then last but certainly not least, I like Philly. Philly on the road. So 3 road dogs.
Nice.
Philly at Green
I love
Bay.
the road dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take Philly for sure right now. I think even with the percentage, you know, it's looking at the past couple of weeks, those close, you know, we saw Houston do it where all those close games are kind of coming out to the favorite. I think the Bills were the one outlier that's really came through in that spot. It's just going to be a crappy game. I don't really see the value in this. I don't think one team will blow it up. The total's at 37, which I think is the lowest the NFL can possibly do. So it's going to be a slugfest of running the ball. Who's the better running back in your guys' eyes, Breece Hall or Judkins? Obviously, I give it to Breece Hall. Who's the better passing team? I give it to the Browns.
Hold on. Did you ask that question?
They haven't. To be fair, he had a great week, but that was the only time this year where he really has gone off. You know,
just in general. In general, if Breece Hall was on the Pats, we'd be talking about.
Like obviously, we know Breece Hall's better. Situationally, though, the better offensive line, I go to the Browns.
Listen, the better defense is the Browns. So
right. So what
I would agree. O-line and D to the Browns. Yeah.
Yeah, like just take the minus 130 if you want to do anything. Maybe buy him up, but I wouldn't. It's going to be too low of a game. So it's another no value situation. I think if you really want good underdogs this week, the ones that I'm circling and highlighting to watch, definitely the Falcons on the road, coming off an Indiana loss. I like Minnesota coming off a Minnesota win on the road, going back home. Both of those are plus 150 and above. So sprinkle some of those in. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be hammering Philly. Just look to see what happens in the Steelers game. If the Chargers end up winning that game, I will back Philly and put a lot of money on it. So
nice. Well, hey, thank you guys. I know we're always looking for some insights. Shawnee V's kind of betting with his his eyeballs. I bet with my heart, and Moneyball bets with statistics. I love it. There's a good mix of different viewpoints, which is good. So, but now hold on. This is what we've all been waiting for. SV the Don, do you want to give a little bit of a thought process into this? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the line is hotline? What are you talking about? So yeah, growing
up is hot.
Growing up in Western New York and Buffalo, and then obviously Boston Mike came to the area from out of town. Yeah, there was this segment that was really like very popular. You know, WGR 550, the only real radio, sports station in the marketplace. They would do this whiner line, they called it, or people could kind of call in and mainly just bitch. It was mainly bitching So we're going to kind of borrow some of that for people to give some of their hot takes, but also, hot takes, positive hot takes too. That's just all negative. Because I think at this point, with where the Bills are and the Sabres, for the most part, things are positive. Even with the Sabres, things are progressing in a positive direction. So, but yeah, both, you're going to do both. So whatever your takes are, we want to hear them. You can text them. You can leave. It's important to know a 90-second or less. There is a 90-second cap. We didn't know that. We had a little trial and error. We had a 30-minute video or a message that my buddy called me. He's like, dude, it's like, it cut me off. So you got to keep it under 90 or else it will cut you. But these are supposed to be shorter takes. A minute 30 is more than enough. Or you can text this line. So 716-666-1627. That's how to leave your line. And we're going to regularly feature the best one. So I think Boston Mike has some queued up for today that we'll react to live.
Hey, thank you to everyone who called, left messages. Obviously, we didn't realize that we had a 90-second, but I think that's even better because now we'll kind of speed them up. We had a lot of texts come in. And it's weird. People are more apt, I think, to text because they're a little bit more comfortable. Maybe if your voice isn't whatever. Listen, we're all ugly bastards here, right? We're all looking to, enjoy sports. So if you don't think you got the voice for it, who cares? Call in. We want to hear your takes. Like I said, we are committed to this show. We are committed to the fans. We love the fact that people are live commenting and kind of getting into it. And listen, we're building characters here. So, you hate Boston Mike, tell him. I mean, it is what it is, man. I got big shoulders. I can take it. I like arguing too. That's my thing. So sports, anything else we can argue about. But yes, the line is hot. Line debuting this week. And I did want to give a round of applause to the first. This gentleman called, couldn't leave a message. It was too long. So I saw the call. I texted this man, and he was gracious enough to send his takes on chat and text. So this, without a doubt, is the first and official. My man, what's his name? Sav in Toronto.
Sav in Toronto. It's like our Jim Rome days. Sav, give us your take, man. Let's go.
Yes. So Sav says, if you can't read this, note's kind of small. I am from Toronto. Last night, this is right after the Chiefs game. So first one right there. Last night, the Jays game, they played Mr. Brightside, and that's when a feeling of dread came over me. My wife said we're going to lose. We're going to find a way to lose. Sometimes I feel cursed as a fan with these two franchises. I was really down today, but my Bills played their butts off, and I feel a lot better now. Thank you, Buffalo. From your neighbors to the north with a U. I like that. He put the O-U-R. He spelled it correctly. Yeah, Go Bills. My name is Sav. And then I said, Sav, you're the man. Thank you very much. And then he had throw this little nugget out there. Also, my 6-year-old told me the Bills were going to win, and I bet him they would. Now I owe him a trip to the local arcade. When the game was done, he asked me, Daddy, why aren't you happy the Bills won? But instead I responded, I'm not happy. I'm relieved. Today I realized that maybe I should just chill out and enjoy the wins when they happen. I mean, I think that's a lesson to learn. I mean, listen, I always like sports, and I always tell people rooting for a team is great because you can't control what they do. But, you invest your soul in it, right? And it's cleansing for your soul. So I think that's a great lesson to learn. I get more nervous about the word relieved, right? I mean, I get that he's relieved. What do you guys think of that? Were you relieved that they won, or were you excited?
Excited. Somewhat surprised that the A game showed up for me. I didn't know if it would.
Okay.
I would just say happy for me overall. I mean, I was expecting it kind of be interesting just with the odds and how everything turned out percentage-wise. So I knew they had a good shot. I do think, people really do love these teams. And when your team isn't – the thing that's crazy with Buffalo now is you have high expectations. So when you lose to a team like the Falcons who haven't been playing well, it makes sense that you're not happy or as happy as you would have been had they been playing well. So that's just for the love of the game. That just makes sense to me. But, yeah, man, maybe chill out. Let the Bills have their season and see what comes along. Because I think, you never want to judge a team too early. Is the only thing I would say.
That's true.
It's a long season, man.
Yep.
So, hey, again, applause to Sav. You always have a special place in our heart, my friend. Keep texting, keep calling. Hopefully you're listening tonight. Much love there, my friend. Let's see. The next one I picked out was this one. I thought was telling, and it's funny. We got takes on everything here, right? This is a Cowboy take, right? Jerry Jones was trying to pull another great trade robbery. He used the wrong player. He should have kept Micah Parsons and traded Dak Prescott. His inaccuracy at anything past 30 yards was evident to me in 2016. This seems like an old timer. They did not leave their name on this one. So this is an anonymous Jones bashing. He hasn't improved much either. Jerry is too proud to admit his mistake and even overpaid him. Every year it gets more painful to watch. Wow. What do you guys think of that?
Man, I love this so much because there was not a bigger hater in the world of Dak Prescott since he has started than me. I swear to God, man, I've talked about how ridiculous that trade they gave him a couple years ago. At the time, it made him the most expensive quarterback in the entire NFL. They bit that bone way too early, in my opinion. I do not think he's ever been that mobile or, like you put it, accurate at all. He has the weapons, don't get me wrong, but he seems to let them down more than he does benefit them. So the timing of giving him that money and everything, I just didn't think he proved enough. And looking back on it now, man, like, yeah, you guys are trading away your better players and keeping the ones who are kind of holding you back. So now you go and get a guy like Williams who can barely, pressure the quarterback or do anything on that side of it. He's really just a run blocker and a big guy up front. I don't understand what they're cooking up halfway through the season. They don't even have a winning record. So you're spending the money like you're a team that's poised for a playoff push.
They're going for it, Ball. They're going for it.
They're going for 3-8-1 is what they're going for. They're on a downward trend. And if you watched a couple weeks ago, me and Phil called this shit to a T. We hate the Cowboys. I hate the owner. I hate everything they do there, man. I am passionate about this text, man. Love it.
Did you see Stephen A. like chilling with him in the box, and then once they got down enough, he was like, "Yo, peace out. I gotta bounce." He's like, "I'll see you later."
That was Stephen going in there.
Damn,
I just did
not sticking around.
That was great. Oh, that was great.
I'll say this about Dak really quick.
Yes.
Well, let me say this about Dak really quick. I'll say this. For the guy that he did get paid at that time, I mean, I know the quarterback market gets reset all the time, but Dak is consistently slightly above average quarterback.
Ugh.
That's it.
If he's healthy, he's okay. I would, dude, if I'm ranking quarterbacks, I put him in like top 20 category, not even top
20, 20. Somewhere between 12 and 25, somewhere in there, depending on
15 to 22 for me.
All right, so anonymous, we agree with you consensively there. This one I had to throw up. It had the word Rhode Island in it. So my man Matt in Rhode Island. So his question is, what's your stance with the tush push? I'm pro tush push. I get that people have complained about the refs missing false starts and that fumble against the Giants was not called. I don't get people's issue with it. It's literally just a QB sneak with some extra help. It's not that new. Even if the Eagles are doing a QB sneak without Hurts getting pushed from behind, they're still going to get the yards they need. All right, let me start with this one because I personally despise this play. I'm all for quarterback sneaks. I probably use the quarterback sneak in Madden more than anybody else. The point of the matter is this. You should not be dragged by your teammates. You should not be pushed by a pile of people. Football is you against the tackler. I don't like the lining up behind him, pushing it personally. What do you guys think?
It's hard to look at it and say like this is against the rules or this should not be a thing because technically, I mean, ever since I've started watching or playing football, there have been plays where, yeah, you're doing a QB sneak, and I guess the whole pushing from behind is really where it's kind of new and not really been done. As the only reason it's a huge topic is because it's been successful for the Eagles now. But there have been teams that have tried it before where it really wasn't working well because they just didn't have, that beefy offensive line. I think even now this year, the Eagles aren't as successful with it as they have been because they just don't have Kelsey or, the people up front to really push. But, it's an interesting take. I think it's still viable option for a lot of teams to move the downs. I think there situationally is a lot of fourth down conversions needed in the NFL. And it adds a little layer of interesting to me when I'm watching. And can a team really do it? And if a team stops them on a tush push, the momentum switch you get from that is also a big factor in the game. So I can't say it fully leans to one side. It's about how good you're really able to stop it. And now that
it used to be one-sided. It used to be every team that did it every single time, and they got it. Like the Bills, I mean, they got kind of, complacent with it against the Chiefs. The Chiefs kind of had a little bit of a formula to stop it. But even that game that we watched this week against the Chiefs, I mean, Josh is just crunched up like a little, Red Riding Hood going to grandma's
like a bag
house.
of chips.
You know what I mean? Like, and then, I got pushed in an inch enough. Hey, he's my fantasy quarterback. I took the rushing.
Thank you.
Touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, Mike, you took that take right out of my mouth, man. It's like, I really love it when Josh Allen does it, and I really hate it when any other team does it, but especially Philly because they do it the best.
Yes.
The only thing I could see you implementing is maybe, we have limits to timeouts. We have limits to, like, even onside kicks now. You got to declare them and stuff like that. Is it kind of a thing where you get a little technical and maybe only allow a certain amount? So then teams really got to think about when they want to use it. But
it's not like it's not a cheating play, but I just personally don't like the pushing. And I know you can't pull somebody into the end zone, right? Their forward progress has to be kind of going. I just think if you're stopped, dude, they call forward progress at some of the weirdest times ever on normal plays, let alone that one. And when do you know if he's stopped? And it's just until they put that little chip in the ball, and to know if that ball is not going forward, it's subjective. And then look, he's talking about that fumble in the Giants. You got linemen swiping at it. You got guys going off false starting. Like, I understand how we can't replay it better. So maybe that's where people kind of get into it.
That posed a question that we really haven't seen is when there were, that was strictly the ref's fault of really not calling they called the play dead way too early. Like, he was still trying to move his feet. So you definitely got to get more technical with the timing of when these people are calling the play dead. Because if you can just sit there churning and nobody really – it's tough to get you to the ground when you got four big guys in front of you and someone pushing you from behind, regardless of what scheme you set up. The only team that I did see do a good job of stopping this last week was the Raiders, where there was about 3 or 4 downs where the Jags were at the 1-yard line and they're sitting there trying to push, Trevor Lawrence in. But what Max Crosby does so great that any other player does is he immediately hip checks and goes below that center and allows every one of his safety guys and the linebackers to just jump on top, because that pressure is really where you can just smush down. You're trying to stop the yard movement this way. So the only way to do that is this way, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the only other thing I can say about it is it a natural type of football play that you're in the gym, you're getting ready for it? Like you said, that guy's burrowing under. You don't think his ankle's going to get twisted one of these times, or,
Right.
But again,
that's the thing with Josh.
It is what it is.
Like, the second that he gets hurt from doing it, I'm going to be like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It works every time to the last time.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, and I want to get you guys' reaction and
Yeah.
live breaking news right now. Ready for this?
What is it?
Antonio Brown is in custody for attempted murder and is being extradited from Dubai to the United States per TMZ right now.
Oh my gosh.
15 minutes ago.
Attempted murder?
Yep.
Jeez, man. He's
Yeah,
got CTE, man. Something bad happened there.
Mike, did you say I don't care? Is that what you said? Is that what you just said?
I said, damn. No, I really don't have anything to say.
I swear to God, I thought you said I don't care. Like, funniest
No, that's
take
just
of all
crazy.
time.
He's
If that's what you
crazy.
said.
Crazy people do crazy things, man. I don't
I
doubt.
care.
Yeah, he's been hitting the head too many times.
He's
I mean,
nuts, bro. Yo, look how nuts he looks in this picture. You know, because I got the green screen on.
no, I
can't
couldn't
even
see
see
it. Oh, okay.
I
No,
know.
it's too small. Hold on.
barely
Let
saw
me
it.
let me
He
full
just
screen
looks
you here.
nuts.
Hold on. Show it again.
see
Let
if
me
I can
full
do it.
screen
Okay.
you. Try now.
Yeah.
Yo, I thought it was a Sauce Gardner picture at first before I knew what you said.
They got
Shout
the
out to
same
Dwayne and the
hairstyle.
boys sharing that for me. Yeah, he just looks nuts, bro. He really
Nice.
does.
Nice.
He's out of his mind.
For how much I loved watching him, dude. It's so
He's
sad
so
to see
good.
these players
Yeah.
that, he ended his season obviously on a random note and then just went into complete downward spiral, man. He's gone live with streamers and said some of the most obnoxious shit I've ever heard in my life. So I saw something like that eventually coming. Attempted murder, though, probably not. I would like to see how that plays out. So, oof.
Oh, listen, I had to pull this one out. I think this is going to create a good conversation here. So this one was again from Matt in Rhode Island. Matt, thank you for your efforts. We appreciate it. I'm going to give you an applause. A double question from Matt here. Another question. There are a lot of teams over 500 right now. Who do you guys have on Fraud Watch? That's a great topic to talk about. He says, meaning their record is a lot better, blah, blah, blah. And some of my buddies say the Colts before the Sauce Gardner trade. My vote is the Seahawks. I just don't see them keeping up in that division. I also don't see Sam Darnold being a playoff threat. Now, I would tell you this, Matt. If I didn't have JSN in my fantasy lineup, I would probably have no take about the Seahawks whatsoever. They are the farthest team, I think, from us geographically. I was not a big Sean Alexander, Matt Hasselbeck. I mean, I don't know. Like, I wasn't ever a big on the Seahawks. I like Marshawn Lynch, when he was beast moding it. But as far as frauds, all right, let's bring up the standings here. Let's see. Let's start NFC. Do I think Philly's a fraud at 6-2? No. Do you guys? No. Yeah. Seattle, maybe he's saying Seattle, but I mean, obviously he's got the Rams nipping at their heels. I mean, either one of them guys frauds, maybe not. Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago. Is Chicago? Maybe Chicago could be the fraud with their up and down, and they're beating teams like Cincinnati. I mean, whatever. Tampa Bay. I don't think they're a fraud at all. I mean, there might not be one in the NFC for me, but Chicago. What do you guys think?
Chicago's definitely fraudulent.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
I think Caleb Williams is very week to week on how he produces. I think the Packers are obviously a fraud to me. I think they proved that
leading
definitely,
their division.
Packers
Yeah,
for
Packers
sure. Well,
are-
they're going down. Like they're in a kind of a downward trajectory. We thought they were a Super Bowl contender. I don't think they are anymore.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think even the 49ers are a bit fraudulent. They clearly have the talent on offense, but as far as their defense goes, to make a push for the playoffs, I think the injuries will eventually catch up to them. That entire division, like you said, you're worried about the Seahawks, but even the NFL, their own accounts this week posted the Seattle Seahawks as the number one power ranked team this week out of every team in the NFL. So,
well, I mean, put it this way: if you look at plus minus, the Seattle Seahawks are plus 81 points, and to that same take, the San Francisco Giants Giants. I'm on baseball shit. The 49ers are only plus 6. They're a 6-3 team, only outscoring 6 points, but they've got a 3-0 division record and a 6-1 in the conference. So you're coming down to maybe records and tiebreakers. Maybe they're not a fraud. I don't know. All right, let's go to AFC. Obviously, I don't think either one of these teams in the AFC East are frauds. Denver, I don't think is a fraud. Maybe the Chargers. It's the way they're up and down. Maybe that 6-3. Yeah, they're only plus 22.
Go with Chargers slightly over the Colts. Slightly over the Colts with Chargers for me.
I mean, what about Kansas City? Are we fraudulating Kansas City? They are technically over 500 with 5-4, but they've got a plus 76 scoring. So when they're winning, they're winning well.
They're gonna be there. They're not
Agreed.
Okay.
No.
So what about Pittsburgh? We think Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh,
I
man.
actually
Yeah,
like
I'd say they're
Pittsburgh a little
fraudulent.
bit. They're fraudulent, but I sort of like them. They're going to be at like 9-8 again. They're gonna
I
end
mean,
up
they've got a
somewhere around
two game lead, and they also have Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland in their division.
Any game you expect the Steelers to completely dominate, I'm telling you, down the road, Aaron Rodgers will let you down. He's not going to take them far in the playoffs. Even if they end up winning this division, it's because the Ravens have started awful. They had too many injuries to begin with, and now that's just going to affect them over the year. The Bengals clearly in that exact same situation with a terrible defense, and then you got the Browns. So they were probably in one of the best scenarios possible to win their division. That just screams fraudulent to me, and the losses that they have look like bad losses to me. I don't think that the Packers just lost to the Panthers, and the Steelers got annihilated by the Packers, what felt like that whole game. The Steelers still can move the ball down the field, but overall, the better teams just kind of compile it onto the Steelers by the end of the game. So them and the Jaguars, to me, are the biggest frauds in the
that was going to be my next one.
I
Was
agree with
out
the
of
Jags
the South.
too. Yep.
I mean, listen, I don't think that the Colts are fraudulent. I mean, yeah, dude, they've outscored 109. They've got some big wins but they've got a good running back, and they've got a great fucking defense now. I think Sauce is great. I mean, I got no problem with that. I mean, yeah, maybe the Chargers, Jacksonville.
Chargers are also definitely frauds. I mean, they'll get Hampton back. It'll be a little interesting, but Herbert himself has been awful in the playoffs. They lost to the Texans last year, I believe, is who they lost to. They got too many good weapons and too many right things going on to be at the level where they're at right now. And I think if they were ever going to make a push, they'd have a better record than they do right now, because the game that they play better talent than a lot of these teams who have better records do. But then again, there's still a good enough team to potentially win some of those games, and they just haven't been doing that. So.
Well, let's see. They beat KC week 1, right? We were all Thursday night watching that thing. So that's a first game of the year. I wouldn't count that up or down. They beat Las Vegas. They beat Denver 23-20, but then they lost to the Giants and the Commanders back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Win in Miami, got blown by Indy, came back, beat those strong Vikings, and then, Tennessee last week only by 7. So, I mean, they've got some weak games coming up, dude. They've got Dallas, they got Houston, they got the Raiders, they got Jacksonville, they got Pittsburgh, but then they also have Denver, KC, Philly. So they've got kind of an up, and they've got a 4-3.
A great test between obviously the matchup this week between the two frauds of the Chargers and Pittsburgh. Who is not fraudulent there? I would like to see who comes out on top of that one.
Take the points. That's why I took the points. They're both fraudulent.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think Pittsburgh, man, they have the talent on defense. Don't get me wrong. Like the reason
highest paid defense in the league.
Yeah, like they went and got Ramsey. They got a couple other people with a lot of experience to be those vet guys. It's just kind of the younger side of that defense that lets up a lot of yards, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. But this week, to me, is the biggest test for the Steelers to see how they're going to play out. I don't look at that. I think when you play in Pittsburgh, a lot of teams like the Colts, people would be quick to assume the Colts are fraudulent because of that game. But then again, like I say with the Patriots or any good team in the NFL who's going on long streaks, for the past couple years in the NFL, the level of competition in this league is insane. So you're not going to go on a 9-0 run. It's not very typical. I don't see it happening this year. So, yeah, I'm not going to look at the one loss and be like, oh, let's wipe off the Colts. It was a tough place to play, and it ended up biting them. So,
heck yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, thank you for everybody.
Boston Mike.
Obviously we can't get everybody in. We're going to try to get you guys in. Just keep sending them in. We love reading them. But yes, Boston Mike is going to get his ass to the Buffalo International Airport and take a nap and watch the Pats on Sunday. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to leave it to these guys. They're going to go over some hockey picks, I'm sure.
Love you, Mike. Safe travels, my man.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Enjoy the game, my man.
I will. I'll send you some pics, bud.
Please do. Please do. What a guy.
Nice, man. Yeah, he's the man. So real quick, we'll give out some quick hockey picks and then we'll wrap the show. We're at about an hour 25, right where we wanted to be. So Moneyball, I got some picks for you. Game of the week coming up. This is going to be Friday night, 7:00. We have the Rangers, New York Rangers, coming off a 3-0 shutout at the Red Wings. Very interesting game because of a couple of things. The Rangers are 6-1 on the road this season, and the Red Wings are 5-1 at home. Something's got to give. So I really like that. Both teams are doing pretty well. Detroit's been solid towards the top of the Atlantic Division. So at home, they've been great. So definitely that's going to be the game I tune in to watch. And then as far as their picks go, I got a couple quick ones, a little 3-team parlay for you for this weekend. We got Friday night, the late game, 10 p.m. We got Winnipeg money line on the road at San Jose. We're then going to also moving on to Saturday, the Stars money line at Nashville. That's a matinee 3 p.m. game on Saturday. And last but not least, a quick little team prop. We have Montreal, the Canadiens, a team that we've talked a lot about on here. Over 2.5 goals team total in their game versus Utah, the Mammoths. That's Saturday at 7 p.m. So Montreal over 2.5. Team total, Stars money line Saturday, and the Peg Friday money line. So that's your little 3-team parlay, and that'll do it.
Yeah, man. The Canadians still playing as good as we've expected, I would say. Winnipeg, I can't remember what happened if they ended up winning that game. They were playing in a close one recently I was watching. I know the Stars had a great comeback win either last night or the night before that as well. So I love the teams, man. I'll probably play it myself, just see what happens. But I need to look over the stadium. The NHL. Oh, yeah. And also, before we log off here, I want to look back and say Denver will win this game by at least 10 points and expect a Sutton tutty. Boom.
There you go. There you go. And for that, we are out. Everybody, thank you again for tuning in as always. For Moneyball, I'm SB the Don. We will catch you guys again next week.